XL to Uruguay. 3 days after that, Bradley found himself part of a hastily organized special operations mission, during which he saved the life of then Major C.G. Castillo by using a borrowed sniper's rifle to take out 2 of the bad guys with headshots. Bradley thus had learned too much about a very secret operation, and the reasons for said operation for him to be returned to the care of the gunny, who could be counted on to demand a full account of where his young corporal had been and what he had done. So Bradley next had been aboard the aircraft on which Castillo and the body of Sergeant First Class Seymour Krantz, who had been killed during the operation, returned to the United States. Not knowing what to do with Bradley back in the States, Castillo had put him on ice at Camp McCall, North Carolina, the Special Forces training base, until he could find a solution. Camp McCall's Sergeant Major, Jack Davidson, had taken one look at the boyish Marine, concluded that his assignment to McCall was a practical joke being played on Davidson by a Marine Master Gunnery Sergeant acquaintance, and put him to work pushing the keys on a computer. The first that Davidson learned of who Bradley really was, and that he had saved the life of Castillo, with whom Davidson had been around the block many times, most recently in Afghanistan, came when Lieutenant General Bruce J. McNabb showed up at McCall to arrange for Bradley to attend Sergeant Krantz's funeral at Arlington National Cemetery. Davidson had also been around the block several times with General McNabb, and several times with McNabb and Castillo together. He had not been at all bashful until the General stated that Castillo's idea that Bradley could be hidden at McCall made about as much sense as suggesting a giraffe could be hidden on the White House lawn, and B, that if Charlie was doing something interesting, it only made sense that Sergeant Major Davidson be assigned to do it with him, as the General well knew how prone Charlie, absent the wise counsel of Sergeant Major Davidson, was to do things that made large waves and got everybody in trouble, and that this was not very likely to be changed just because they had just made Charlie a light bird. Shortly after the final rites of Sergeant Krantz at Arlington National Cemetery, Sergeant Major Davidson and Corporal Bradley were en route to Buenos Aires. And shortly after going to Nuestra Pequeña Casa, while serving as the driver of a Renault traffic van, Corporal Bradley found himself participating in an unpleasant firefight in the basement garage of the Pilar Sheraton Hotel and Convention Center, during which he took down one of the bad guys with a model 1911 A1 Colt semi-automatic pistol and contributed to the demise of another with the same .45 caliber weapon. Following that, it was Castillo's judgment that Corporal Bradley really deserved to be formally assigned to the Office of Organizational Analysis. He called the Director of National Intelligence, who called the Secretary of Defense, who called the Secretary of the Navy, who directed the Commandant of the Marine Corps, just do it, don't ask questions, to issue the appropriate orders. Top secret, presidential, the White House, Washington, D.C. Duplication forbidden.